This is going to be a fun E3 for us. There are obviously some news about E3 back in the fall, and we had a discussion internally of should we go big, should we save some money,
Right?
What does that mean? And we decided no, we're going to do our thing, and we're going to go and be as big at E3 as we've ever been. And I love that opportunity. I love the opportunity to be with our fans in the industry.
Wow, talk about a huge interview that recently happened with head of Xbox, Phil Spencer. Not only does he go into great detail of future plans for Xbox, he also goes into detail about Crackdown 3 and how the game transformed right in front of his eyes. He also goes into E3 2019, Xbox as a brand, xCloud, the new studios, and also what the confidence Satya, the CEO of Microsoft, has with the Xbox brand. I'm here to break it all down for you guys, so sit back and relax and enjoy the flood of information that's about to take over. Because Phil Spencer goes into great details about what we can expect from the Xbox brand for years to come. It's going to be a bit of a long video, but trust me, there's a lot of information in here. So let's talk about the next big first-party game about to drop, and that's Crackdown 3. Phil Spencer admits that about a year and a half ago, the game didn't quite feel like a Crackdown game to him. The movement of the agents didn't fit what Crackdown is supposed to be. He saw this as a problem and needed the team to take more time so they can get the entire game right. But that has him extremely pleased with what the team has been able to accomplish with the game over the last year and a half. That finally the game feels like Crackdown and that fans of the franchise will feel right at home playing the game. But that's not all that's tied to this game. There's also the great tech powering this game's multiplayer, the Wrecking Zone. Phil goes into detail saying that the tech took some time to develop and get right, but admits that they might have overstepped the tech in the early stages of revealing the game, saying people don't really care how you build the tech as long as it just works in the game for the customer. Now I have to agree with Phil on this one. It's been well documented that Xbox did overstep with the reveal of Crackdown 3 and the cloud destruction tech behind it. It's good that Phil is logical enough to understand that misstep and diagnose how they could move forward without repeating it. While I'm happy Crackdown has turned a corner with the gameplay and destruction, I'm also excited to see Xbox give their developers more time and money if they feel the game isn't just right. That shows confidence in your product and the brand. Much like Nintendo did with Metroid Prime, if it doesn't fit the quality you're trying to emulate, then it should be given more time or dropped entirely. It really does give me confidence in the Xbox brand and moving forward. Now let's talk about the future of Xbox and what the studios and everything to do with the brand does for the bright future of Xbox. Phil goes into detail talking about when he first became the head of Xbox and how he needed to figure out what they needed to do that matches what Xbox is all about. He says he didn't want to just replicate what someone else in the industry was doing, but to stand out, be it hardware, software, services, explaining that at the end of 2017 is when they started to flesh out what their long-term strategy was, which is to put the gamer at the center of everything. Have a great Xbox ecosystem no matter where you are, from console, PC, mobile devices, it doesn't matter, as long as you are experiencing a great ecosystem on the Xbox brand. And this all started at the end of 2017 when they had a big reorganization within Xbox and Microsoft, and that 2018 was the first steps into trying to establish themselves for a stronger presence in the gaming industry. And he goes on to say that 2019 is the year they will be rolling up their sleeves and are in the process of executing this long-term vision they set in place the previous 2 years. To me, this is a huge set of information. It really does show the confidence that Phil has in the brand and also the support they're receiving from Microsoft. As we know, Terry Myerson was one of the biggest hurdles Xbox had to overcome internally. He would cut funding from Xbox and give them terrible budgets for games and hardware. That really gave Xbox a disadvantage in the gaming industry compared to their competitors. But as time went on, he was taken out of power and Phil was promoted to one of the head spots in Microsoft, and Xbox was given its own budget and support from Microsoft. With this newfound leadership, Xbox has expanded their first-party portfolio and provided gamers with the most powerful console on the planet. Not to mention all the great services like Game Pass. After the shakeup, Xbox quickly turned it into a brand a lot of Xbox gamers could be proud of again. But speaking of the first-party studios, Phil talks about needing that base of studios that are a part of the Xbox family, saying the real goal for him was to have a large enough studio base where they can provide games on a consistent basis. Now, this helps developers have more time to polish a game or make it better because they have other studios that might have a game ready to launch. So no one's pinched for time and no one is in a rush to release a game at a set date. Phil talks about meeting with Matt Booty, where they feel so fortunate to have such a big library of studios. He also says that the library will get bigger and they're aiming to grow and never stop growing. Talk about confidence. Now, this has to be one of the best parts of the interview because he talks about giving developers time and also having enough developers under their umbrella so they have the luxury to give them that time. This entire generation, we all know that Xbox hasn't been strong in the exclusive department, and since their reorganization, we can see they are trying to right that wrong, but not in a conservative way like some might assume. Instead, they are swinging for the fences and are trying to provide consistent content to their customers for years to come. The plan is simple. Have enough creative talent built around your ecosystem so they can provide consistent high-quality content to the consumer. Pretty simple, but hard to execute, and it looks like Xbox is trying to execute that with all these new studios. But now let's see what he talks about with E3 2019. Phil, like you heard earlier, said they will be going very big for E3 2019. He goes into detail about finally being themselves and showing just how serious they are about gaming. Even goes into how third-party developers have shown a lot of interest in their conference and their product, which is great to see the rest of the industry wanting to be a part of Xbox and seeing the change internally. Phil talks about what he wants to show, how much long-term plans or how much short-term, and that he loves to be transparent with the fans of Xbox. He talks about wanting to talk and show what the Xbox brand means from the console gamers to PC gamers to mobile devices. All of these people are Xbox gamers. He also goes into xCloud and how he's been playing with xCloud this entire holiday season and that they want to make this perfect for the consumer. Getting the xCloud right is very important to them internally, especially since it's just like being on Xbox Live. There isn't a difference where you play. But that's a lot of information for just E3. As we've known for quite some time, Sony won't be at E3 this year, so that puts a lot of attention on Xbox and what they will bring to the conference. While we know there will be a lot of third-party games showing a lot of interest on the Xbox conference, but I think it's going to surprise a lot of people that they have a lot of internal plans to talk about a lot of the new services and new games that will be provided to the Xbox gamer. Not to mention, just like Phil said, they will discuss exactly what Xbox as a brand means to Microsoft, be it the cloud streaming service or the long-term plans for games on console and PC. This will all be shown at E3 2019, and it sounds like Xbox isn't going to be holding back a lot, especially with all these unannounced games being hinted at and the cool services that we might not even know about. The problem isn't going to be the lack of content at this point. It's going to be if Xbox can stick the landing and execute everything they've set out to do. And last but definitely not least, he talks about what the CEO of Microsoft says about Xbox and the services provided. Says Satya calls Game Pass the Netflix of gaming, which Phil says is not the same because games like Sea of Thieves and other games continue to grow and continue to have people playing them. He goes on to say that Satya and Microsoft in general are very supportive and big believers in the Xbox brand and gaming altogether. Xbox is one of the fastest growing groups around, and that the studio acquisitions are a reason for that. With this expansion, they have footholds in multiple areas around the world, not just Seattle. All of this wouldn't be possible without the backing from Microsoft's CEO and CFO, which have great confidence in the Xbox brand. The company feels that gaming is mainstream, and as an industry, they have to recognize that and expand Xbox to be a global market. And just recently, we know that the gaming industry made more money than Hollywood did. It's mainstream, people, and Microsoft recognizes that. But I have to admit, the road has been very tough for Xbox since the launch of Xbox One, which Phil has said himself, stating the launch was a tough one to see happen internally. But with the changes within Microsoft, it's great to see the plans of the new leadership take Xbox to heights we've never seen before. From great hardware, games, services, and overall brand awareness, it's exciting as an Xbox gamer to see what the future holds. For the last 2 years, Xbox has been laying the groundwork for a bright future of the Xbox. And it's sounding like 2019 is the year they will be taking this groundwork and building on it. It's all about the execution now. They have a plan that seems to be building momentum for the Xbox brand. Let's just hope they're able to accomplish their goals. Because like we said, talking about it is great, but executing it really does take planning and great leadership. But I want to know what you guys think about all this information. Go down below in the comment section and let's talk about all this. Do you think the interview was very informative? Are you excited for the future of Xbox? Do you think Xbox will be able to execute this huge plan? What do you think is missing from this plan? Go down below and let's have a discussion. And please, while you're down there, hit that like button and that subscribe button. It helps the channel a lot more than you know, and I truly appreciate any support I get. And also go on Twitter and follow me at Zalker87. I'm always on there talking games with everyone, so go there and give me a follow. That's all for now, folks. Thanks for watching, and like always, enjoy your gaming. Later.